Hey, welcome to Dr. G Engaging Minds. I'm Dr. Howard Gluss, and my first guest is Wes Geer. Wes is the former touring guitarist for KORN and the founder of Rock to Recovery. Hey, Wes, it's great to see you.
Great to be seen. Great to be here.
You know, I was wondering, how you're doing with all this social isolation, with the quarantine, how you're coping with it all.
I'm doing surprisingly well. I mean, I work out of my home mostly, so I'm kind of used to it. But luckily, there's been a lot of wonderful, resources digitally, the way to connect, like Zoom and stuff like that. It's not the same, but it's been working really well. And I've just been having to take extra effort to make sure I'm reaching out to other people and getting that. Even if it's face-to-face like this, I'm getting something.
Exactly. It's kind of what we have. And that's what I feel like. You deal with the reality of what you have. And this is pretty good when you think about it. If you think about what some of the alternatives could have been like, that if we wouldn't have had this technology, how really isolated we would feel.
Yeah. Every time we leave the house now, we get excited. Like, I got to get gas today. Whoa!
I know. I live near the farmer's market at the Grove, and the day I go out shopping at the farmer's market, it's like the most, I'll call up and go, oh my God, they had orange juice. I'm so excited.
Yeah, a lot of gratitude now.
You know, a lot of patients right now, one of the issues they're facing is some of them have been relapsing, and I feel it's because of the isolation. And in some ways, I feel like it's a bit of an excuse, to be honest, because as you know, there's so many things people can do to stay connected. So I'm wondering what your experience is around that.
Yeah. So for me, I just have this old mantra that was burned into my head. And it's more program, more program, more program, which is, your program can be anything. I'm a 12-stepper, but there's smart recovery and all sorts of different ways. But whatever you're doing as a program of recovery, I know that in these especially challenging times, that I have to do more of it. So, I add more exercise. I'm adding more walks outside. I'm adding more time. Now I FaceTime people all the time. In the old days, if you FaceTime somebody without warning them, they get kind of mad.
All nervous. They go like, wait, I don't have my makeup on. I'm not put together. And now there's a relaxation around it. No one seems to care that much.
It's kind of like doing the drive, if you just showed up at somebody's house and knocked on the door. That we used to do that in the 80s and the 90s, and it was okay.
Yeah, remember back then?
Yeah.
We'd show up with our shoulder pads at the door, and people were okay about it.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I've been doing.
No, I think that's great. And what you're saying is that we're connecting more. We're finding a way to increase that attachment, which is so important, especially for people struggling with addiction. They feel isolated, and that's the first place they go. And what you're saying is, get attached, no matter what the program is, no matter what you're doing. Get attached to yourself, your sense of self, but also get attached to others. And one of the ways you do it in a great way is around music. How do you think music helps people increase that attachment?
Music is just the energy changer, and every emotion we talk about is energy on some level, anger or serenity or happiness. And so when we can add music, we can instantly change our whole vibrational level. We can change our focus. We can put on a song that uplifts our spirits. Maybe it's some song you loved when you're on vacation in Tahiti. Maybe it's a song that brings back a great memory.
But also in the Rock to Recovery, you use some music therapy. I wonder if you could share that with our audience.
Right. So Rock to Recovery is getting non-musicians together to write and play music together. We give everybody, we meet them where they're at with their own ability level. And most songs are just a few cool notes put together with some vocals and lyrics. So we find a topic that's near and dear to our heart. We can get some true emotions out. We create as a group. And, because that's what really music is. It's our emotions put to music,
Music is storytelling. It's a powerful way to tell a story. And right now, collectively, we're all going through this powerful change. And to be able to put that to words is so important and so therapeutic. Because let me ask you this question. One of the things I've been pondering is people are talking about this concept of new normal. What's our new normal psychologically, spiritually? what will impact us enough during this period that may make some powerful changes?
Yeah, it's tough because it's hypothetical, of course. And I think in any scenario, there's going to be the light side and the dark side. And then I was looking at the way we do digital connection, which has now pushed a lot of the work we do with music therapy. We're now doing it in other states because everything's remote anyhow. So we're now going deeper in the digital realm and getting a broader base to connect to and new innovative ways. So you could argue, do we need to live more in the digital realm? So there's kind of a yin and a yang to it. I think on a lot of ways, people will be empowered to know what they can do in their own self-reliant fashion. And then I think in another way that can be kind of dangerous too, you know?
Yeah, but I think what it does do is it brings up a sense of exploration and a sense of new dialogue is created. A friend of mine who is a diehard AA person, been in it for 30 years, was at one point having a lot of problems with all the meetings being online. And he kept saying, you know, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. And after a while, we talked about it. And then he said, but you know, I'm talking to people in other countries. I'm starting to have a different experience.
So that's what I'm saying. There's always the yin and yang of it.
I agree with you completely. And one of the things, I've said this before, and I say it all the time when I'm working with patients, is I say, you know what, instead of thinking this as self-isolation, what about if we think about this as a time of self-reflection?
Well, you know, it really comes down to spirituality always. And the rule of thumb in spirituality is when something's taken away, when I'm in pain, when I feel lost, what's the opportunity here? What's the lesson? So we really have a choice in any challenging situation to go in self-pity and focus on everything we don't have, or go, what can come out of this that's really good? But it's important to tell the people struggling, I'm not always happy all the time. The only reason I'm here, the only reason I'm here, because sometimes I think that's good for you. You're all happy. I hate listen, it's because I've had suicidal ideation. I've wanted to die. I've suffered mental health. I have addiction issues. It gets really dark. This is the stuff that helps me battle the darkness, and it comes from me too.
And it comes from this connection. You know, one of the jokes I say to patients all the time is, you know, I wasn't always the poster child for mental health. And I'll just sort of leave it at that. Everybody struggles, including psychologists have had to struggle. So the thought that anyone has it easy is just not necessarily true.
It is not true.
If people wanted to find out more about Rock to Recovery, how could they do so?
We're easy to find. We're all over the interweb. It's Rock, T-O, spelt out, to Recovery. We have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, website that's really cool. And then you can find me. I'm Wes Geer, W-E-S-G-E-E-R. And if you DM me, if you have any, I love to help people out who are struggling. So yeah, we're easy to find.
But we're not done with Wes Geer just yet. He rejoins Dr. Kluss later in the show to play a little guitar.
I feel happy when I procrastinate. Yeah.
But first,
that's what really brings that higher level of recovery.
More on the life-saving power of music.